The torches make everything look wrong. Shadows move where they shouldn't. The olive trees twist in the firelight, branches reaching like hands. I've been in Gethsemane before, during the day when it's peaceful. Now it feels like somewhere else entirely. I'm walking near the back of the group, not leading, never leading. That's not my place. I'm a servant of the high priest's household. I carry messages, I manage doors. I make sure things run smoothly so that men like Caiaphas can do the work that matters. Tonight, I'm here because someone needed to accompany the temple guard, and I was available. They told me we're arresting a teacher, a rabbi from Galilee who's been causing trouble. I don't ask what kind of trouble, that's not my role either. The captain of the guard is ahead, moving with certainty. Roman soldiers flank us, their armor catching the light, their faces unreadable. And then there's Judas, one of the teacher's own men, walking at the front like he knows exactly where he's going. I don't like any of this. Not the hour, not the secrecy, not the mixture of temple authority and Roman power moving together through the dark. But I don't have to like it. I just have to be here. We've been walking for a while now, leaving the city behind, descending into the valley. My sandals slip on the path. Someone ahead mutters a curse. The torches hiss and smoke. I think about my wife. She'll be asleep by now, or trying to be. She always waits up when I'm called to work at night. I told her I'd be back before dawn. I didn't tell her where I was going because I didn't know. The high priest's steward came to me just after sundown. "Malchus," he said, "you're needed. Be ready in 10 minutes." So here I am. We reach the garden, and Judas stops. He turns, scanning the darkness beyond the torchlight. Then he moves forward again, slower now, like he's listening for something. I hear it too. Voices, low and indistinct, coming from deeper in the grove. The captain raises his hand. We stop. The soldiers close ranks. I can feel the tension tightening, the way air changes before a storm. Then Judas walks ahead, alone, into the shadows. A moment later I see them. A small group of men, maybe 10, maybe 12. They're sitting, some standing, gathered around a central figure. I can't see his face clearly, but I see the way the others orient toward him, the way they lean in when he speaks. That must be him, the teacher. Jesus of Nazareth. Judas approaches. The men notice him. One of them stands tall, broad-shouldered, his hand moving toward something at his side, but the teacher raises a hand, and the man stops. Then Judas does something strange. He steps close to the teacher, leans in, kisses him on the cheek. It looks like affection, like greeting. But it doesn't feel like either. It feels like a signal, because the moment it happens, the captain moves forward, and we all move with him. The soldiers step into the clearing, torches high, swords drawn. The temple guards spread out, surrounding the group. "Jesus of Nazareth," the captain calls out. His voice is hard, official. "You're under arrest." The teacher steps forward, calm. No fear in his face that I can see. "Who are you looking for?" he asks. The captain hesitates. It's a strange question. We just said his name. "Jesus of Nazareth," the captain repeats. The teacher nods. "I am he." And something happens. I don't know how to describe it. It's not loud. It's not violent. But the words hit like a wave, and suddenly men are stumbling backward. A soldier drops his torch. One of the guards falls to his knees. I feel it too. A weight, like the air itself, is pushing against me. Then it passes. The captain recovers first, barking orders. The soldiers move in again, more cautiously now. The teacher's men cluster around him, voices rising in panic and confusion. One of them, the broad-shouldered one I noticed before, pulls a sword. I don't think he knows what he's doing. He's not a soldier. The way he grips the blade, the wildness in his eyes, this is fear, not training. He swings. I don't know if he's aiming for the captain or the nearest soldier or just anything in front of him. But I'm close. Too close. The blade comes fast. I see it. I try to move, but there's no time. The edge catches the right side of my head. Pain, instant and shocking. Not sharp, blunt like being struck with a hammer. My vision whites out. My knees buckle. I'm on the ground. My hand goes to my head. Wet, warm blood running down my neck, soaking into my tunic. My ear, it's gone. I can feel the absence of it. The torn skin, the heat of the wound. I press my palm against the side of my head and the pain makes me gasp. Someone is shouting. The soldiers are moving. The man with the sword is being pulled back by the others. And then I hear a voice, calm, clear, cutting through the chaos. Stop. No more of this. I look up. My vision is blurred, swimming with pain and shock, but I see him. The teacher, Jesus. He's moving toward me. The soldiers let him. I don't know why. Maybe they're as stunned as I am. Maybe they don't know what to do with a prisoner who walks toward the man who was just attacked. He kneels beside me. His face comes into focus. Weathered, kind. Tired in a way that doesn't come from one sleepless night, but from carrying something for a long time. Let me see, he says quietly. I don't understand. I should pull away. I should call for help, but I don't move. He reaches out. His hand touches the side of my head, right where the wound is, where my ear was. The touch should hurt. It should be unbearable. But it isn't. It's warm, steady, and then the pain stops, not fades. Stops, like a door closing. I feel pressure, sensation returning where there was only raw absence. The bleeding stops, the torn skin isn't torn anymore. He pulls his hand away. I reach up, trembling. My fingers find my ear, whole, unharmed, still wet with blood but intact, healed. I stare at him. He looks back at me with something I can't name. Not pity, not anger, something closer to sorrow. Then he stands, turns back to the soldiers and the guards. If you're looking for me, I am he says again. Let these others go. The captain nods to the soldiers. They step forward, grab him, bind his hands. The teacher doesn't resist. His men scatter into the darkness. The one with the sword is gone. They're all gone, leaving him alone. And I'm still on the ground, my hand pressed to the side of my head, feeling the ear that shouldn't be there. He healed me. The man we came to arrest. The man whose follower just tried to kill me. He healed me. The soldiers pull him away, torches moving back toward the city. The captain barks at the guards to follow. Someone reaches down, pulls me to my feet. You all right? One of the temple guards asks. I nod. I don't know what else to do. We walk back through the valley, back toward Jerusalem. The teacher is ahead, hands bound, surrounded by soldiers. I'm walking behind, touching my ear every few steps to make sure it's still there. No one saw. Or if they did, they don't say anything. Maybe they think the wound wasn't as bad as it looked. Maybe they think I'm just lucky. But I know. I felt it. The absence, the pain, the impossibility of what he did. By the time we reach the high priest's house, the sky is beginning to lighten. The courtyard is already filling with people, scribes, elders, members of the council. They're preparing for a trial. I'm dismissed, sent home. My work is done. I walk through the streets as the city wakes. Merchants setting up stalls, women drawing water, everything normal. I stop at a public fountain, kneel down, wash the blood from my neck, my tunic, my hands. I look at my reflection in the water, both ears, whole. I don't understand. I'm a servant of the high priest's household. I was there to help arrest a dangerous man. That man's follower attacked me, and the man I came to arrest healed me. Why? I press my palm against my ear again, feel the shape of it, the cartilage, the skin. Perfect, like nothing ever happened. But something did happen, and I don't know what to do with it. The door to my house is still locked when I arrive. Good. She's safe inside. I fumble with the latch, my hands still shaking. The sky is lighter now, not full dawn yet, but close. The kind of grey that turns everything soft and unclear. I step inside and close the door behind me. The house is quiet. One room, simple. A sleeping mat in the corner, a small table, a lamp burning low. The smell of last night's bread still in the air. Hannah is awake, sitting up on the mat, wrapped in a blanket. Her eyes find me immediately. "Malchus," she says, relief first, then concern. "You're bleeding." I look down, my tunic. The right side is dark with dried blood. I'd forgotten. "I'm fine," I say. She's already moving, crossing the room to me. Her hands reach for my face, tilting my head to see better in the dim light. "What happened? Where are you hurt?" "I'm not," I say. "I'm fine." She touches the side of my head. Her fingers trace the line of my ear, finding the blood caked in my hair on my neck, but no wound. Her brow furrows. "I don't understand. All this blood. I'm not hurt," I repeat. She pulls her hand back, looking at the blood on her fingers, then at me. "Then whose blood is this?" "Mine." "Malchus, it was mine," I say quietly, "but I'm healed." She stares at me, waiting for an explanation that makes sense. I don't have one. I move past her toward the water basin in the corner. I strip off my tunic, dropping it to the floor. The blood has soaked through to my skin. I can feel it, sticky and cold. I pour water into the basin, dip a cloth, begin washing. Hannah stands behind me, watching. I can feel her questions building, but she doesn't speak yet. She knows me well enough to wait. The water turns pink, then red. I wring out the cloth and dip it again. "They sent you to arrest someone," she says finally. Not a question. A statement. "Yes." "And there was violence." "Yes." I scrub at my neck, my shoulder. The blood is stubborn. It doesn't want to let go. "Were you struck?" "Cut," I pause. The cloth drips into the basin. "My ear was cut off," I say. Silence. Then softly, "What?" I turn to face her. "One of the men we were arresting, one of his followers, he had a sword. He swung at the guards. The blade caught me here." I touched the right side of my head. It took my ear. I felt it. I was on the ground, bleeding. It was gone. Her eyes moved to my ear. Whole. Unmarked except for the dried blood around it. "How?" "The man we arrested," I say. "The teacher, Jesus of Nazareth. He touched me, and it was healed, restored, like it never happened." She doesn't speak. I turn back to the basin. Keep washing. I don't know what else to do. "Malchus," she says carefully. "Are you sure it was as bad as you thought? Sometimes in the dark with torches things look worse." "It was gone, Hannah." "But I felt the absence of it. I pressed my hand to the side of my head and there was nothing there. Just torn skin and blood. I know what I felt." She's quiet again. I finish washing, dry myself with a clean cloth, reach for a fresh tunic from the peg on the wall. When I'm dressed, I sit down at the table. My legs feel weak. The exhaustion is catching up now that the shock is fading. Hannah sits across from me. Her hands are folded on the table. She's thinking, processing. "This man," she says. "The one they arrested. Who is he?" "A rabbi from Galilee. He's been teaching in the temple courts, gathering crowds. The priests say he's dangerous." "Dangerous how?" "I don't know. They don't tell me those things." But he healed you. Yes. Why? That's the question, isn't it? I don't know, I say. She looks at me for a long moment, then she reaches across the table, takes my hand. You're afraid, she says. I nod. Of what? Of what it means. Her thumb moves gently over my knuckles. Tell me what happened. All of it. So I do. I tell her about the walk through the valley, the torches, the way Judas kissed the teacher like a greeting, but it was really a betrayal. The strange moment when the teacher spoke and men fell backward, the chaos when the sword came out. I tell her about the pain, the shock, the feeling of my ear being gone. And then I tell her about him, Jesus, the way he walked toward me while I was on the ground, the way he knelt, the way his hand touched the wound and everything changed. He didn't have to, I say. We were there to arrest him. His own man had just attacked me. He could have let me bleed, let me suffer, but he didn't. He healed me, and then he let them take him. Hannah is quiet, listening. They brought him to Caiaphas' house, I continue. The council was already gathering. They're going to try him, accuse him. I don't know what the charges are, but it doesn't matter. They've already decided. And you helped arrest him? Yes. The man who healed you? Yes. She squeezes my hand. What are you going to do? I don't know. Will you tell anyone about the healing? I shake my head. Who would believe me, and even if they did, what would it change? He's already arrested. The council has him. The Romans are involved. Whatever happens next is already in motion. But you know what he did. I know what he did to me. I don't know what that means for him or for anyone else. Hannah pulls her hand back, folding her arms. She's thinking again. I know that look. You've heard him teach, she says. Haven't you? I hesitate, then nod. A few times in the temple courts when I was sent on errands for the household. What did he say? I don't remember all of it. He spoke in stories, parables, things about the kingdom of God, about mercy and judgment, about loving your enemies. The last part catches in my throat. Loving your enemies. He healed me, his enemy, the servant of the man who will condemn him. Hannah sees it, the realization on my face. He practiced what he preached, she says softly. I nod. Yes. We sit in silence for a while. The lamp flickers. Outside, the city is waking fully now. I can hear voices, footsteps, the distant sound of animals being led to market. Normal life. Continuing like nothing has changed, but something has changed. I reach up and touch my ear again. Still there, still whole. I don't know what to do with this, I say quietly. Hannah stands, moves around the table. She places her hand on my shoulder. You don't have to do anything right now, she says. Rest, eat, let yourself think. I'm supposed to return to the household this afternoon. They'll want me available in case I'm needed during the trial. Then rest now. She moves to the shelf, pulls down bread and dried fruit, sets it in front of me, pours water into a cup. I'm not hungry, but I eat anyway, because she's right. I need to. She sits beside me, not eating, just watching. Malchus, she says after a while, whatever you decide, I'm with you. I look at her, my wife, the one who knows me better than anyone. I haven't decided anything, I say. I know, but when you do, I'm with you. I nod, grateful. We sit together as the morning light grows stronger, spilling through the small window. The city outside is loud now, alive, moving forward. And I'm sitting here with bread I can barely taste and an ear that shouldn't exist. The man who healed me is in chains, and I don't know what to do. I return to the high priest's household just after midday. The courtyard is full. Not with the usual flow of people, petitioners, messengers, servants moving through their daily tasks. This is different. This is deliberate. Scribes stand in clusters, speaking in low voices. Elders from the Sanhedrin arrive in pairs, their faces set and serious. Temple guards line the walls. Something is happening, or about to happen. I slip through the side entrance, the one servants use. No one stops me. No one asks where I've been. In a household this size on a day like this, one servant more or less doesn't matter. I find Ezra, one of the other attendants, near the kitchen. "What's happening?" I ask. He glances at me, then back toward the main hall. "The trial. They've been at it since dawn." "Already?" "They brought him straight here after the arrest. Caiaphas wanted it done quickly." "Why the hurry?" Ezra shrugs. "Passover. They want it finished before the feast. No disruptions." I feel something tighten in my chest. "Have you seen him, the prisoner?" "Briefly. When they brought him through, he didn't look like much. Tired. Quiet. Quiet." The word sits strangely. I remember him in the garden, the calm in his voice, the way he healed me without hesitation and then surrendered without resistance. "Where is he now?" I ask. "Inside. The council chamber. They're hearing witnesses." I nod. "Do they need anything? Water? Food?" Ezra shakes his head. "They sent someone already. Just stay available in case something comes up." I move through the halls, staying near the edges, staying unnoticed. It's what I'm good at. Being present without being seen. I can hear voices coming from the council chamber, raised, argumentative. I move closer, not close enough to be questioned, but close enough to hear. A man's voice, strained and uncertain. He said he would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days. Another voice, sharper. That's not exactly what he said. It's close enough. Close isn't the same as accurate. Caiaphas's voice cuts through, cold and precise. "Can you testify to his exact words or not?" A pause. "I heard him say something about the temple being destroyed. And rebuilt in 3 days? I think so, yes. You think so, or you know?" Silence. I lean against the wall, listening. This is how it works. Testimonies that don't quite align. Witnesses who aren't quite sure. But it doesn't matter. The outcome is already decided. This is just the process. The appearance of justice. Another voice joins in, then another. Each one adding a piece, shaping a narrative. He blasphemed. He claimed authority he didn't have. He threatened the temple. He misled the people. I close my eyes. I think about his hand on my head, the warmth, the impossible restoration. That's not the man they're describing in there, but I can't say that. I can't walk into that chamber and tell them what I know. I'm a servant. My word means nothing against the testimonies of scribes and respected men. And even if they believed me, would it change anything? I don't think it would. The voices grow louder. Someone is shouting now. I hear Caiaphas again, his tone sharp with frustration. This is getting us nowhere. The testimonies don't agree. A door opens. One of the scribes steps out, shaking his head. He looks exhausted. "They can't make it stick," he mutters to another man waiting in the hall. "The witnesses contradict each other. Nothing's holding." The other man frowns. "So what now?" Caiaphas is questioning him directly. They move past me, heading toward the courtyard. I stay where I am. A few moments later, I hear it. Caiaphas' voice measured and deliberate. "I charge you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Messiah, the Son of God." Silence. I hold my breath. Then, clear and steady. "You have said so. But I say to all of you, from now on you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." The reaction is immediate. Shouting, outrage, the sound of fabric tearing, Caiaphas ripping his robes, the traditional sign of hearing blasphemy. He has spoken blasphemy. Why do we need any more witnesses? You have heard the blasphemy. What do you think? A chorus of voices. He is worthy of death. I feel my stomach drop. Death for what? For claiming something they didn't want to hear. I push away from the wall, moving back down the hall. I can't listen anymore. I find a corner near the servants' quarters, sit down on a stone bench, put my head in my hands. He healed me, and now they're going to kill him. I don't understand. I don't understand why he healed me. I don't understand why he claimed to be the Son of God. I don't understand why he didn't defend himself better, fight back, say something that would save his life. None of this makes sense. Footsteps approach. I look up. It's one of the younger servants, a boy named Reuben. Malchus, he says. They're moving the prisoner. The council's finished. They're taking him to Pilate. Pilate? The Roman governor? Reuben nods. They need Rome to carry out the execution. They're bringing him to the praetorium now. I stand. When? Now. They're already leaving. I follow Reuben back toward the courtyard. The crowd is moving. Council members, guards, scribes, all flowing toward the main gate. And in the center, surrounded by temple guards, is Jesus. His hands are still bound. His face is bruised now. Someone struck him during the trial, maybe more than once. But he's walking steadily, not stumbling, not pleading, just walking. I stay back, watching from the edge of the courtyard as they lead him out into the street. The crowd follows, not just the council, others too. People from the city who heard what was happening. Some shouting, some silent. I don't follow. I can't. I watch until they disappear around the corner, the noise fading into the distance. Then I'm alone in the courtyard, almost alone. One of the older servants, a man named Tobias, is sweeping near the gate. He glances at me. You were there last night, he says, at the arrest. I nod. Rough business, he says, shaking his head. But necessary, I suppose. Can't have people stirring up trouble during Passover. I don't respond. He keeps sweeping. They say he claimed to be the Messiah. Imagine that. A carpenter's son from Nazareth. He healed people, I say quietly. Tobias pauses, looks at me. What? He healed people. I've seen the crowds, heard the stories. Blind men seeing, lame men walking. He didn't just teach, he did things. Impossible things. Tobias snorts. Tricks, illusions. There's always someone claiming to work miracles. Doesn't make them the Messiah. I touch my ear, hidden beneath my hair, whole. Maybe, I say. Tobias goes back to sweeping. Anyway, it'll be over soon. Pilate will handle it, then we can get back to normal. Normal. I'll walk back inside, through the halls, past the council chamber, now empty, past the place where they held him during the trial. I end up in the small room where we store supplies. Linen, oil, candles. I sit down on a crate and stare at the wall. My ear is whole. The man who made it whole is on his way to be executed, and I'm sitting here doing nothing. What can I do? I'm nobody, a servant. I carry messages and manage doors. I don't have authority. I don't have influence. I don't have a voice that anyone would listen to. Even if I stood up and told them what happened, even if I showed them my ear and swore it was cut off and healed, they'd dismiss me. Call me confused. Say the wound wasn't as bad as I thought. Or worse, they'd accuse me of conspiring with him, of being one of his followers, and then I'd be arrested too. I can't do that. I can't risk that. Hannah is waiting for me at home. We have a life, small, simple, but ours. I can't throw that away, but I also can't forget. I press my palm against the side of my head, feel the shape of my ear, the cartilage, the skin. Perfect, he gave me this, and I'm letting them kill him. The door opens. Ezra looks in. There you are, he says. They want extra hands at the praetorium. The crowd's getting large. They need servants to manage water, keep things orderly. I'll go, I say. He nods. Good, hurry. I stand, follow him out. Maybe I can't stop what's happening, but I can be there. I can witness it. It's the least I can do. The praetorium is chaos. I've never seen a crowd like this. Hundreds of people pressed into the courtyard, spilling out into the street. Voices everywhere, shouting, arguing, demanding. The Roman soldiers stand at attention along the walls, their faces blank but their hands close to their weapons. They don't like crowds, especially not Jewish crowds during Passover. I push through, trying to reach the area where the other servants are gathering. Someone shoves me. I stumble, catch myself, keep moving. Near the front, on the elevated platform where Pilate conducts official business, I can see them. The chief priests, the elders, standing in a tight group, their faces set with determination. And Jesus, still bound, still calm, standing before the governor. Pilate is seated, looking down at him. Even from here I can see the governor's irritation. He doesn't want to be here. This isn't his problem, but the Jewish leaders have made it his problem by bringing it to him. I find a spot near the side, close to the stone water jars we've been told to keep filled. Ezra is already there, dipping a ladle, passing cups to guards who request them. What's happened so far? I ask quietly. Pilate's been questioning him, Ezra says without looking at me, asking if he's the king of the Jews. The prisoner barely answers. It's strange, he's not defending himself. I watch. Pilate leans forward, saying something I can't hear over the noise of the crowd. Jesus responds, just a few words. Pilate sits back, visibly confused. Then the chief priests step closer, speaking rapidly, gesturing. Accusations. I catch fragments. He stirs up the people, teaching throughout Judea, starting in Galilee. Pilate's expression changes at the mention of Galilee. He asks a question. One of the priests nods. The governor stands abruptly. He says something to his guards, and they lead Jesus away from the platform, through a side door. What's happening? Someone in the crowd shouts. Where are they taking him? The priests look uncertain. Pilate has disappeared inside. Ezra nudges me. They're sending him to Herod. The prisoner's from Galilee. That makes him Herod's jurisdiction. Pilate's trying to pass it off. Will Herod take it? Ezra shrugs. Who knows? Herod's here for the feast. Staying in the old Hasmonean palace. It's not far. We wait. The crowd doesn't disperse. If anything, it grows. More people arriving, hearing what's happening, wanting to see. I stay near the water jars, keep my hands busy, try not to think. But I can't stop thinking. I keep seeing him in the garden, the way he knelt beside me, the way his hand felt warm, steady, sure. Why did he do that? That question won't leave me alone. He knew we were there to arrest him. He knew what was coming. He could have let me bleed, could have let his followers fight, could have run, but he didn't. He healed his enemy, and now his enemies are trying to kill him. Time passes slowly. The sun climbs higher, the day grows hot, then movement at the entrance. The guards are bringing him back. The crowd surges forward. I crane my neck to see. Jesus is wearing something different now, a purple robe, expensive, ornate. But it's mocking. Someone dressed him like a king as a joke. His face is more bruised than before. Herod's guards weren't gentle. They lead him back to the platform. Pilate emerges again, looking even more irritated than before. He raises his hand for silence. The crowd quiets slightly. "I have examined this man," Pilate calls out, his voice carrying across the courtyard. "I find no basis for your charges against him. Neither did Herod, who sent him back to us. He has done nothing to deserve death." A murmur runs through the crowd. The chief priests step forward immediately, protesting. I can see Caiaphas among them, his face hard. Pilate holds up his hand again. "Therefore, I will punish him and release him." Punish and release. A compromise. A way to satisfy everyone without executing an innocent man. But the priests aren't satisfied. They're speaking to the crowd now, not to Pilate, moving among the people, and the people are responding, their voices rising, growing louder. "Crucify him!" The shout comes from somewhere in the middle of the crowd. Then another voice joins, then another. "Crucify him! Crucify him!" The chant builds, spreading like fire. I feel cold despite the heat. Pilate looks stunned. He tries to speak again, but the crowd is too loud now. One of the governor's attendants approaches him, whispers something. Pilate nods. He raises his voice. "It's the custom at Passover for me to release one prisoner to you. Which one do you want? Jesus, who is called the Messiah, or Barabbas?" Barabbas. Everyone knows that name. An insurrectionist, a murderer, guilty of everything the Romans hate. Surely they'll choose Jesus. But the chief priests are still moving through the crowd, still speaking, still stirring. And when Pilate asks again, "Which one?" the response is immediate. "Barabbas! Give us Barabbas!" "Then what shall I do with Jesus?" Pilate shouts. "Crucify him!" The chant resumes, louder now, relentless. Pilate argues. I can see his frustration. He doesn't want this. He knows it's wrong. But the crowd won't stop, and the priests won't relent. Finally, Pilate calls for water. A servant rushes forward with a basin. The governor washes his hands in front of everyone. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he declares. "It is your responsibility." The crowd roars approval. Pilate signals to his guards. They take Jesus away, not to release him, to prepare him for crucifixion. The crowd begins to disperse, satisfied. The priests gather in small groups, speaking quietly among themselves. I stand frozen by the water jars. It's happening. They're going to kill him. Ezra touches my arm. "Come on, we're dismissed. They don't need us anymore." I don't move. "Malchus, come on." I follow him mechanically, my mind somewhere else. We walk back through the streets toward the high priest's house. The city is loud, full of Passover preparations, pilgrims, merchants, life continuing as if nothing has changed. But everything has changed. At the household, I'm told I'm free for the rest of the day. They don't need me until evening. I should go home. Hannah will be worried. But I don't go home. I find myself walking toward Golgotha instead. I don't know why. I don't want to see it. But I need to. The road climbs upward, away from the city center. Others are walking the same direction, some curious, some jeering, some silent and grieving. I see them from a distance first. 3 crosses, dark against the sky. I stop walking. I can't go closer. I can't watch, but I can't leave either. So I stand there, at the edge of the crowd, far enough back that I can't see faces clearly, just shapes, silhouettes. The man in the center, that's him, Jesus. I know it without seeing clearly. The crowd is smaller here than at the Praetorium. Some soldiers, some mockers, a few women weeping at a distance. I hear the shouts, the insults. "He saved others, but he can't save himself. Come down from the cross if you're the Son of God." I press my hand to my ear again. He saved me. He could have saved himself in the garden, could have called down armies of angels if the stories are true, could have struck us all dead. But he didn't. He let them arrest him. He let them beat him. He let them nail him to a cross. Why? I don't understand. The sun is high now, but something feels wrong. The light seems dimmer than it should be. The air feels heavy. I don't know how long I stand there. Time moves strangely. Then I hear it. A voice. His voice. Loud enough to carry even from the cross. Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they are doing. The words hit me like a physical blow. Forgive them. Forgive us. I was there. I helped arrest him. I work for the household that condemned him. I stood by and did nothing while they sentenced him to death. And he's asking for forgiveness. For us. My legs give out. I sink to my knees on the dusty ground. I don't know what I'm feeling. Grief, shame, confusion. Something deeper than words. The sky grows darker. It's the middle of the day, but it looks like evening. People around me start murmuring, pointing at the sky, fear creeping into their voices. Then another cry from the cross, louder, more desperate. My God, why have you forsaken me? The anguish in those words, I feel it in my chest. Then, after what feels like hours but might only be minutes, one final shout, it is finished. And silence. Not just him. Everything. The whole crowd seems to hold its breath. Then the ground moves. A tremor. Small at first, then stronger. People stumble, cry out. The soldiers look around wildly. The earth is shaking. I press my hands flat against the ground, feeling it roll beneath me. Then it stops. And he's gone. I can see it even from here. The way his body hangs, no movement, no breath. Dead. One of the soldiers approaches the cross, does something, I can't see what. Confirmation. It's over. I stand slowly. My legs are shaking. People are leaving now, hurrying away. Some beating their breasts, some weeping openly. Even the mockers are quiet, their faces pale. I turn and walk back toward the city. The streets feel different, quieter. Or maybe I'm just hearing everything differently. I don't go to the high priest's house. I go home. Hannah is waiting. She takes one look at my face and pulls me inside. What happened? She asks. They killed him, I say. My voice sounds hollow. They crucified him. She doesn't ask anything else, just holds me. We stand there in our small house as the strange darkness outside begins to lift, and I keep touching my ear. Whole, healed by a dead man. The Sabbath is silent, not the peaceful silence of rest, the heavy silence of shock. Hannah and I stay inside. We're not the only ones. The streets are quieter than they should be, even for a Sabbath. People move quickly when they do move, heads down, voices low. Something shifted yesterday. Everyone feels it. I lie on the mat, staring at the ceiling. Sleep won't come, even though I'm exhausted. Every time I close my eyes, I see the crosses, hear his voice. Father, forgive them. Hannah sits by the window, looking out at nothing. She's been quiet since I came home yesterday. She asked a few questions. Where it happened, how long it took, if I saw him die. I answered briefly. Then we both ran out of words. Now we just sit with it, the weight of it. You should eat something, she says eventually. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten since yesterday morning. I know. She stands, moves to the shelf anyway, breaks off a piece of bread, brings it to me. Eat, she says gently. You can't help him by starving yourself. I take the bread. Hold it, don't eat it. I didn't help him at all, I say quietly. She sits beside me. You were there. I watched, I did nothing. What could you have done? I don't know. Something. Anything. I set the bread down. He healed me, Hannah. He gave me back my ear, and I let them kill him. You didn't kill him. I didn't stop it either. You're one man, a servant, against the high priest, the council, like the Romans. What could you possibly have done? I don't answer. Because she's right, and because she's wrong. She's right that I couldn't have stopped it, but I'm wrong that I did nothing. I helped arrest him. I walked back to the city with the guards who brought him in. I served in the household that condemned him. I stood at the praetorium and did my job while they sentenced him to death. I wasn't just a witness, I was part of it. Malchus, Hannah says, her voice soft but firm. Listen to me. You are not responsible for what happened. Then who is? The people who wanted him dead, the ones who lied about him, the ones who demanded crucifixion, not you. I want to believe her, but I keep touching my ear, and every time I do, I remember. The Sabbath passes slowly. We pray the traditional prayers. We rest because the law requires it, but there's no peace in it. When the sun finally sets, marking the end of the Sabbath, I still don't feel ready to face tomorrow. Will you go back? Hannah asks. To the household? I have to, it's my work. You could stay home, say you're unwell. For how long? A day? 2? Eventually I have to return. She nods, understanding. We can't afford for me to lose my position. We live on what I earn. There's no margin for absence. What will you say? She asks. If anyone asks about the arrest? The truth. That I was there. That we brought him in. That's all. And the healing. I look at her. No one will ask about that. No one knows. But you know. Yes, I know. She reaches for my hand. That's not nothing, Malchus. You know what he did. You know who he was. That matters. Does it, if he's dead? I don't know, she admits, but it has to mean something. Sunday morning comes too soon. I dress in the dim pre-dawn light. Hannah is already awake, preparing bread for the day. Be careful, she says as I reach for the door. Careful of what? I don't know. Just be careful. I kiss her forehead. I will. The walk to the high priest's house is familiar. My feet know the path without thinking, but everything feels different now. Wrong. The household is quiet when I arrive. A few servants moving through their morning tasks. No crowds, no urgency. The trial is over. The execution is done. Back to normal, just like Tobias said. I find Ezra near the kitchen. You're back, he says. I'm back. Rough couple of days. Yes. He studies me for a moment. You all right? Fine. He doesn't look convinced, but he doesn't push. Well, it's quiet today. Most of the council is resting after the feast. Just basic duties. Check with the steward. He'll tell you what needs doing. I nod and move on. The steward assigns me simple tasks. Refilling oil lamps, checking the gates, organizing the storage rooms. Work that keeps my hands busy and my mind occupied. But I can't stop hearing the whispers. They're everywhere. Servants talking in corners. Guards exchanging rumors. Did you hear? They posted guards at the tomb. Why? He's dead. Something about his followers. The priests are worried they'll steal the body. Steal it? Why? To claim he rose from the dead. He said something about that, apparently, rising after 3 days. That's ridiculous. The priests don't think so. They went to Pilate himself, got a detail of Roman soldiers to watch the tomb. I pause in my work, listening. A tomb. Guarded. They're afraid even now. Even after killing him, they're afraid. What does that mean? I finish my tasks and find a quiet corner. Sit down. Rest my head against the wall. 3 days. He said something about 3 days. The guard said so. The servants are talking about it, but he's dead. I saw him die, heard his last words, watched his body go still. You don't come back from that, do you? The day drags. I go through the motions, do what I'm told, speak when spoken to, but my mind is elsewhere. I keep thinking about the garden, the way he said, "I am he," and men fell backward, the authority in those words, the power. If he had that kind of power, why did he let them take him? If he could heal my ear with a touch, why couldn't he heal himself? If he really was who he claimed to be, why did he die like a criminal? None of it makes sense. By evening I'm exhausted, not from work, from thinking, from the questions that won't stop. I'm dismissed and walk home as the sun sets. Hannah is waiting with dinner, simple food, lentil stew, bread. We eat in silence for a while. Then she asks, what are people saying at the household? That it's over, that everything can go back to normal. Do you believe that? I set down my cup. No. Why not? Because they posted guards at his tomb. Because the priests are still afraid. Because... I trail off. Because what? Because he healed me, I say quietly. A man with that kind of power doesn't just end. Hannah is quiet for a moment. Then what do you think happens now? I don't know. Do you think his followers will do something? Try to steal the body like they're saying? I don't know. They all ran, scattered. I don't think they have the courage for that. Then what are the priests afraid of? That's the question, isn't it? Maybe they're afraid of the truth, I say slowly. That he was who he said he was, and if he was, then they just killed the Messiah. Hannah's eyes widen slightly. Do you believe that? That he was the Messiah? I don't know what I believe, but I know what he did for me, and I know they killed an innocent man. Beyond that, I shake my head. I don't know. We finish eating, clean up, prepare for bed, but sleep doesn't come easily. I lie awake listening to Hannah's breathing beside me. 3 days. Tomorrow will be 3 days. I don't know why that matters. I don't know what I'm expecting. But something in me is waiting. Monday morning. I wake before dawn again. Dress quietly. Hannah stirs. Malchus? I'm going to work. It's early. I know. I need to go. She sits up. What's wrong? Nothing. I just need to be there. She looks at me for a long moment, then nods. All right. Come home when you can. I kiss her and leave. The streets are dark, empty, the city still sleeping. I walk faster than usual. I don't know why. There's no reason to hurry. But I can't shake the feeling that something is about to happen. I reach the household just as the sky begins to lighten, and I'm not the only one. There's activity near the main gate. Voices. Movement. I move closer. A group of temple guards and Roman soldiers. The ones who were posted at the tomb. They look shaken. One of them is speaking rapidly to a priest I recognize. His hands are gesturing wildly. The stone, it was moved, rolled away. We didn't see how. There was light, a tundong, an earthquake, and then... Where is the body? The priest demands. Gone. The tomb is empty. Empty. The word echoes. The priest's face goes pale. You lost the body? We didn't lose it. Something happened. You don't understand. What I understand is that you had one job, guard the tomb, and now the body is missing. The guards are trying to explain. The earthquake, the stone, the light, but the priest isn't listening. He's already turning, hurrying inside. I stand there, frozen. The tomb is empty. 3 days. He said 3 days. My hand goes to my ear without thinking, whole. Healed by a man who is now, what? Dead. Or something else. I don't move. Can't move. Around me the household is waking, servants emerging, more priests arriving, the news spreading, the tomb is empty. And I don't know what that means, but I think everything just changed again. The household erupts. Within an hour, every member of the council who be reached is summoned. They arrive in clusters. Caiaphas, the chief priests, the elders, their faces tight with anger and fear. I'm sent to the main hall with other servants. We're told to bring water, wine, whatever is needed. But mostly we're there to be invisible, to serve and not hear. But I hear everything. How could you let this happen? Caiaphas's voice cuts through the room like a blade. The guards stand in the center, surrounded. One of them, the captain, tries to explain again. There was an earthquake. The ground shook. Then we saw there was something at the entrance. A figure, bright, too bright to look at directly. The stone moved like it weighed nothing. And then you ran, one of the priests interrupts. We didn't run. We fell. We couldn't stand. The light. Enough. Caiaphas holds up his hand. I don't want to hear about lights and earthquakes. I want to know where the body is. We don't know. His followers took it, obviously. No. The captain shakes his head firmly. We would have seen them. We were there all night. No one came. Then how do you explain an empty tomb? Silence. The captain has no answer, because there is no answer. Not one that makes sense. Not one they want to hear. One of the elders leans forward. The people cannot know about this. If word spreads that his body is missing, that his followers are claiming he rose... They're already claiming it, another priest interrupts. I've heard the rumors. His disciples are saying they've seen him, alive. The room goes cold. That's impossible, someone says, but the word hangs there, weak, uncertain. Caiaphas stands. We control this, now, before it spreads further. He turns to the guards. Here's what happened. You fell asleep. While you were sleeping, his disciples came and stole the body. That's the story. That's what you tell anyone who asks. The captain looks uncomfortable. If we admit we fell asleep on duty, the governor will. We'll handle Pilate. You'll be protected. But you tell that story. Nothing about earthquakes or lights or anything else. Understood? The guards exchange glances. Then, reluctantly, they nod. Good. Now go. And if anyone asks, you stick to that story. The guards leave. The council members begin talking among themselves, low, urgent conversations. I step back against the wall, trying to process what I just heard. They're lying. They know something happened that they can't explain. Something that terrified trained soldiers. Something that moved a stone no group of frightened disciples could have moved. But they're going to lie about it. Because the alternative is impossible, isn't it? I slip out of the hall while they're distracted, move through the corridors, my mind racing. I need to think, I need to understand. But I can't think here. Not in this place, not surrounded by men who are building lies to cover truth. I leave the household, walk into the city. The streets are waking fully now, merchants setting up, people moving toward the temple for morning prayers. Normal life, but nothing feels normal. I walk without direction, just moving. Trying to make sense of it all. The tomb is empty. The guards saw something they can't explain. His disciples are saying he's alive. And my ear, I stop walking. Stand in the middle of the street, people flowing around me. My ear is proof that he could do impossible things. I felt it gone, felt the torn flesh, the blood, the absence, and then I felt it restored, whole, perfect. If he could do that, could he do more? Could he come back? I start walking again. Faster this time. I need to know. I need to see for myself. The tomb is outside the city, not far. I've passed it before, a garden area where wealthy families bury their dead. I know which one it is. Everyone knows by now, the one that was sealed. The one that was guarded. The one that's now empty. I approach carefully. There might still be guards, or priests, or someone watching. But when I reach the garden, it's quiet. The tomb entrance is visible from the path. The stone, massive, circular, designed to roll in a groove, is pushed aside. Not just moved, displaced. Like someone lifted it and set it away from the entrance. I move closer. No one stops me. I reach the entrance, peer inside, empty. The shelf where the body would have been laid, nothing. Just the linen burial cloths, folded, arranged carefully, not torn, not scattered like someone grabbed a body and ran. Folded. I step back. This doesn't look like theft. This looks like someone woke up, got up, folded the cloths, and walked out. My heart is pounding. You looking for him too? I spin around. An old man stands a few paces away, a gardener by the look of him, tools in his hands, dirt on his tunic. Yes, I say, you won't find him here. Where is he? The gardener smiles. It's a strange smile, peaceful, almost amused. Where he's supposed to be, alive. You saw him? Saw someone early this morning before dawn. Thought it was a trespasser at first, but then... He shakes his head. Never seen anything like it. He was just there, and then gone. What did he look like? Like a man. But also, the gardener struggles for words. Different. Hard to explain, but I knew, soon as I saw him, that was no ghost. I'm about to ask more when voices approach. Two women, moving quickly down the path, their faces bright, tear-streaked but joyful. They stop when they see me at the tomb entrance. One of them, I recognize her. Mary, from Magdala. I've seen her before, with the other followers. He's not here, she says breathlessly. He's risen. We've seen him. You saw him? My voice comes out hoarse. Yes, just now, on the road. He spoke to us. He's alive. He's really alive. The other woman nods, unable to speak. She's weeping, happy tears. Mary grabs my arm. You have to tell people. Everyone needs to know he's alive. Death couldn't hold him. They hurry past, heading back toward the city, spreading the word. I stand there, alone except for the gardener. You believe them? I ask. He shrugs. I believe what I saw. You believe what you know. What I know he healed my ear. I know he forgave the people killing him. I know he died, and I know the tomb is empty. What I don't know is what to do with all of that. I walk back to the city slowly. My mind won't stop. Can't stop. If he's alive, if he really came back from death, then everything he said was true. Everything he claimed. Everything the priests condemned him for. Son of God, Messiah, the one we've been waiting for, and we killed him. I helped arrest him. I stood by while they condemned him. I watched him die, and he healed me anyway. I find myself near the temple. The morning sacrifices are underway, smoke rising, prayers being offered, everything according to the law, everything proper and ordered. But it all feels hollow now. I think about the moment in the garden, when he said, I am he, and men fell backward. The power in those words, the same power that healed my ear, the same power that apparently broke death itself. I leave the temple area, walk through the streets, seeing but not seeing, people everywhere, life continuing. Do they know, do any of them understand what just happened? I end up at home without remembering the walk. Hannah is there. She looks up when I enter, sees my face. What happened? I close the door, lean against it. The tomb is empty, I say. She goes still. Empty? The guards saw something, an earthquake, light. The stone moved, the body gone. His followers took it? That's what the priests are saying, but the guards, they saw something else, something they can't explain. I move to the table, sit down heavily. And his disciples, they're saying they've seen him, alive. Hannah sits across from me. Do you believe that? I don't know, but I went there, to the tomb. I saw it. The burial cloths were folded, not torn, not scattered, like someone carefully removed them and left. That doesn't mean... He healed my ear, Hannah. I look at her. He restored flesh and bone and cartilage with a touch. If he could do that, why couldn't he come back from death? She has no answer, neither do I. We sit in silence for a long time. Finally, she asks, "What are you going to do?" I don't know. Will you tell anyone at the household about the healing? And say what? That I believe the man they executed is alive? That he performed a miracle on me? They'd think I'd lost my mind. Or worse, they'd accuse me of being his follower. Are you? She asks quietly. His follower? The question hangs between us. Am I? I didn't choose to be. Didn't ask for any of this. Didn't want to be part of his story. But he chose me anyway. He healed me when he could have let me suffer. He forgave me when I was his enemy. And now, apparently, he's defeated death itself. I don't know what I am, I say finally, but I know I can't unknow what I know. I can't pretend it didn't happen. I can't forget. Hannah reaches across the table, takes my hand. Then don't, she says simply. The next days are strange. The city is buzzing with rumors, stories spreading like wildfire. He's been seen by women, by disciples, by travelers on the road. The priests are furious, trying to contain it, spreading their version. The disciples stole the body. But the disciples don't act like thieves. They act like people who've seen a ghost, or something more than a ghost. I go to work, do my duties, keep my head down, but I'm listening, always listening. One afternoon, I'm in the courtyard when I overhear two guards talking. Saw one of them yesterday, one of the followers, Peter, I think his name is. The one who denied knowing him? That's the one. He was at the temple, speaking, bold as anything, saying the resurrection proves Jesus was the Messiah. And they didn't arrest him, couldn't. The crowd was too big and too sympathetic. The mood shifted. People are listening now. I continue my work, but my heart is racing. Peter. The one who cut off my ear. The one who ran away. He's speaking publicly now, not hiding, not afraid anymore. Something changed him. Something made him brave. I think I know what. He saw him, the risen Christ. And once you see that, once you know death has been defeated, what's left to be afraid of? That evening, I tell Hannah everything I've been hearing. The movement isn't dying, I say. It's growing. His followers aren't scattered anymore. They're gathering, speaking openly, and people are listening. What does that mean for us? She asks. I don't know yet, but I can't keep pretending. I can't keep serving in a household that condemned an innocent man. That's trying to cover up the truth. You'd leave your position? Maybe, if it comes to that. She's quiet for a moment, then we'd manage, somehow. We always do. I look at her, my wife, who's been with me through everything. You'd support that, even if it means we have less? Even if it makes life harder? I'd support you telling the truth, she says, whatever that costs. I pull her close, hold her. I don't know what happens next, I say into her hair. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, but I know I can't stay silent forever. You don't have to decide tonight, she says. Just be patient, wait, see what unfolds. She's right. I don't have to decide everything now. But I know one thing for certain. I touched death and was healed. And the man who healed me has conquered death itself. That changes everything, even if I don't know how yet. Weeks pass. The city doesn't settle. If anything, the tension grows. The followers of Jesus, they're calling themselves believers now, not just disciples. They're everywhere. Meeting in homes, speaking in the temple courts, growing in number. The priests try to stop it. Arrests are made, threats issued. But it doesn't work. Every time they silence one voice, two more rise up. I watch it all from the edges. Still working in the high priest's household. Still carrying messages and managing doors. Still invisible, but not unchanged. I can't be unchanged, not after what I know. Hannah notices. The way I hesitate when asked to serve at council meetings. The way I avoid certain conversations. The way I touch my ear when I think no one's looking. "You're wrestling with something," she says one evening. We're sitting outside our house watching the sunset. The air is cool, peaceful. "I am," I admit. "The same thing about him?" "Yes." She waits. She's learned not to push, just to wait until I'm ready to speak. "I hear things," I say finally, "at the household. The priests, the council, they're terrified. Not of the followers, of the story. They can arrest people, they can issue threats, but they can't stop the story from spreading." "What story?" "That death has been defeated, that Jesus rose, that he appeared to hundreds of people, that he's the Messiah they've been waiting for and they killed him." Hannah pulls her shawl tighter. "Do you believe it? All of it?" "I believe what I saw. The empty tomb, the changed disciples, the movement that won't die." I pause. "And I believe what happened to me, in the garden. That was real. That was," I struggle for the word, "that was divine." "Then what's keeping you from joining them?" "The believers?" "Fear," I say honestly. "Fear of losing my position. Fear of what the household would do if they knew. Fear of—" I stop. Of what? Of what it would mean. To really follow him. To really commit. She's quiet for a moment. Then, "What did he give you, Malchus?" "My ear." "No, what did he really give you?" I turn to look at her. "He gave you your life," she says. "That wound should have been permanent, disfiguring, a mark you'd carry forever. But he restored you, completely. That's not just a healing, that's a gift, that's grace. Grace." The word settles in my chest. "You don't owe him something because he healed you," Hannah continues. "But maybe you want to give him something anyway, because of who he is, not because you have to, because you want to." I reach for her hand. She takes it. "I'm afraid," I admit again. "I know, but you're also brave. You went to the tomb, you've been listening. You've been paying attention when it would be easier to ignore everything." She squeezes my hand. "You're already following him, Malchus. You just haven't said it out loud yet." The next day, I make a decision. I'm going to find them. The believers. I need to hear their story directly, not through rumors or second-hand reports. I need to hear from people who saw him after the resurrection. I need to know I'm not alone in this. It takes some asking, some careful questions to people I trust. But eventually I'm directed to a house in the lower city where they meet. I go in the evening after my work is done. Hannah comes with me. The house is ordinary, small, but when we knock, the door opens immediately. A man, middle-aged, kind face, looks at us. "Can I help you?" "I'm looking for—" I hesitate. "I'm looking for people who knew Jesus, who followed him." The man's expression changes, cautious. "Why?" "Because I need to hear the truth about what happened, about—" I touch my ear without thinking, "about who he was." The man studies me for a moment, then opens the door wider. "Come in." Inside there are maybe 20 people, sitting, standing, talking in small groups. The atmosphere is, I don't know how to describe it, warm, alive, hopeful. One man notices us. He's tall, broad-shouldered, something familiar about him. He approaches, then stops. His eyes widen. "You," he says, and I recognize him. Peter, the man who cut off my ear. We stare at each other. The room goes quiet, people watching. Peter looks stricken. "I remember you, in the garden. I struck you. He stops, swallows. "I nearly killed you." "You did," I say quietly, "but he healed me." Peter's eyes fill with tears. "He healed you, even then, even in that moment." "Yes, I'm sorry," Peter says, his voice rough. "I was afraid, angry. I didn't know what I was doing." I know," I say. "I was afraid too. We all were." Peter steps closer. "Why are you here?" "Because I need to understand. What happened that night? What happened after? Why?" My voice catches. "Why he healed his enemy." Peter nods slowly, then gestures to the room. "Sit, please. Let me tell you." We sit. Hannah beside me, Peter across from us, others gathering around, and he tells the story, not the version the priests are spreading, the real story. How Jesus knew what was coming, how he prayed in the garden, sweating blood, asking if there was another way, how he surrendered anyway, how Peter denied him 3 times before the rooster crowed, how they all ran, how Peter thought it was over, thought he'd betrayed the one person who believed in him. And then, the resurrection. "I saw him," Peter says, and his voice is full of wonder even now. "After he rose, he came to us, to me, and he didn't condemn me, didn't reject me. Peter's voice breaks. "He forgave me, he called me back, he gave me purpose again." "What purpose?" I ask. "To tell people, to witness, to share what we saw and heard and experienced." Peter leans forward. "He defeated death, Malchus, not just for himself, for all of us. That's the message. That's what changes everything." Another person speaks up. A woman. Mary, the one I saw at the tomb. "I was the first to see him," she says. "That morning, I went to the tomb to anoint his body, but the stone was rolled away. I thought someone had taken him. I was weeping, and then," she smiles, "he spoke my name and I knew he was alive." Others share their stories. People who saw him, spoke with him, ate with him, touched his wounds and knew he was real. Not a ghost, not a vision. Risen. I listen to all of it, and slowly something in me settles. This isn't mass delusion. This isn't lies or tricks. These are ordinary people who saw something extraordinary, and it changed them, just like it's changing me. When the stories finish, Peter looks at me. "What about you?" he asks. "Will you tell us what happened in the garden?" So I do. I tell them about being sent to arrest Jesus, about the chaos when Peter swung the sword, about the pain and the blood and the impossible absence. And then I tell them about the healing. "He touched me," I say, "and everything changed. The pain stopped. My ear was restored, perfect, like it never happened." I look at Peter. I was his enemy, part of the group that came to take him, and he healed me anyway. The room is silent. Then Peter speaks, his voice thick with emotion. "That's who he is. That's what he does. He heals his enemies. He loves those who hate him. He forgives those who kill him. He wipes his eyes. That's the gospel. That's the good news." Hannah and I stay for hours. We eat with them, pray with them, listen to more stories. Before we leave, Peter pulls me aside. "You're welcome here," he says. "Anytime, you and your wife. This is your family now, if you want it." "I do," I say, and I mean it. "What will you do?" he asks. "About your work? The household?" "I don't know yet. But I can't keep serving there, not like before, not knowing what I know." Peter nods. "It won't be easy. Following him never is, but..." He places his hand on my shoulder. "It's worth it. Every cost, every sacrifice, it's worth it." Hannah and I walk home in the dark. The streets are quiet, the city sleeping. "Are you all right?" she asks. "I think so, yes." "What now?" "Now." I take a breath. "Now I tell the truth about who I am, about what I believe. At the household, if they ask, I won't hide anymore." She takes my hand. "I'm with you, whatever comes." We walk in silence for a while. Then I say, "I keep thinking about that moment in the garden when he healed me. I didn't ask for it, didn't deserve it, but he gave it anyway." "Grace," Hannah says. "Yes, grace." I touch my ear. I spent so long wondering why. Why did he heal me? Why did he care? And I think maybe that's the wrong question. What's the right question? Not why, but what now? What do I do with this gift, this second chance? Hannah smiles. "I think you're figuring that out." We reach our house, go inside, and for the first time in weeks I sleep peacefully. Because I know what I have to do. I have to live like someone who was healed, like someone who received grace they didn't earn, like someone who's been changed by an encounter with the divine. I don't know what that looks like yet, not fully, but I know I'm not alone. I have Hannah. I have the believers. I have the story. And I have my ear, a reminder. Every day, every moment, that death doesn't have the final word. That grace is real. That Jesus, the one they killed, the one who rose, he's alive. And so am I. I don't leave the household immediately. That surprises some people. Peter, others in the community, they expect a clean break, a dramatic exit, but I stay for a few more weeks. Not because I'm afraid, not anymore, but because I realize something. I can serve here differently now. I can be present in this place, this center of opposition to everything I now believe, and still hold to what I know. I can be salt, light, even if no one notices, even if it's just me and God. So I continue my work, but I do it with different eyes. When I'm sent to council meetings, I listen differently. I hear the fear beneath the anger, the desperation beneath the certainty. These men, the priests, the elders, they're not monsters, they're afraid. Afraid of losing control, afraid of being wrong, afraid that everything they've built their lives on might be less than what God is actually doing. I start to feel something unexpected. Compassion. Not agreement. Not approval. But compassion. They're trying to serve God the only way they know how. With rules, with power, with control. They don't understand yet that God doesn't need their protection. That grace is stronger than their systems. That the Messiah they've been waiting for already came, and they missed him because he didn't look the way they expected. I pray for them now, in the quiet moments, when I'm alone. I pray they'll see what I see. That they'll encounter the risen Christ the way I did. With compassion instead of condemnation. With healing instead of judgment. One afternoon, I'm in the courtyard when Caiaphas himself walks past. He's with several other priests, deep in conversation about something. They don't notice me, but I notice him. The high priest, the man who condemned Jesus, who tore his robes and declared blasphemy. And I think about Jesus on the cross. Father, forgive them. Those words were for Caiaphas too. Not just for me. Not just for Peter. Not just for the soldiers. For everyone. Even the high priest who orchestrated his death. The realization staggers me. If Jesus can forgive that, if grace extends even there, then nothing is beyond reach. No one is too far gone. Not even the people who killed him. The decision to leave comes quietly. Not in a moment of anger or frustration. Not in a dramatic confrontation. Just a growing certainty that my time here is finished. I speak with Hannah first. "I think it's time," I say one evening. She looks up from her sewing. You're sure? Yes. What will you do? I don't know exactly. Work with my hands. Maybe carpentry or masonry. Something honest. Something that doesn't require me to serve in a place that opposes what I believe. We'll have less, she says. Not a complaint, just a fact. I know, but we'll have peace and truth and community. I reach for her hand, and we'll have each other. She smiles. That's more than enough. I give notice the next day. The steward is surprised. You're leaving? Why? Personal reasons, I say. Family matters. He doesn't push. Servants come and go. It's not unusual. Very well. We'll find someone else. You can finish out the week. That's it. No drama, no questions. Just a quiet exit from a place I've served for years. On my last day, I walk through the halls one more time. I think about everything that happened here. The trial, the condemnation, the fear and the lies. But also, the place where my story changed. Because if I hadn't been sent to that arrest, I never would have been in the garden. I never would have encountered Jesus. I never would have been healed. God used even this, even my service in a place opposed to him. He wove it into something redemptive. I leave through the main gate for the last time, and I feel lighter than I have in months. Life becomes simpler. I find work with a builder. Good work, honest work. My hands learn new skills. The calluses build. Hannah and I settle into a new rhythm. We attend the gatherings of believers regularly now, sometimes in homes, sometimes in larger groups. The community is growing. New people every week. Some know my story. The healing in the garden. Most don't. I don't talk about it often. But when people ask, when they want to know how I came to follow Jesus, I tell them. About the arrest, the violence, the impossible restoration. About grace I didn't earn and didn't deserve. About a man who healed his enemy and forgave his killers. And every time I tell it, I feel it again. The warmth of his hand, the sudden absence of pain, the wholeness. My ear is still there, still perfect, still whole. A permanent reminder, not just of what he did for me, but of who he is. One Sabbath, months later, I'm walking through the market when I see a familiar face. Tobias, the servant from the household, the one who was sweeping the courtyard that terrible day. He sees me too, nods in recognition. Malchus, I heard you left. I did. Doing well? Very well. He hesitates. Then, can I ask you something? Of course. Why did you leave? Really? It wasn't just family matters, was it? I look at him, an old colleague, someone I worked beside for years. No, I say honestly, it wasn't. Then what? I could deflect, could give him an easy answer, but I don't. I left because I couldn't keep serving in a place that condemned an innocent man, because I know personally what Jesus was capable of, and I couldn't pretend anymore. Tobias' eyes narrow. You're one of them, a follower. Yes. He steps back slightly, uncertain, maybe afraid he'll be associated with me, but then he asks, what did he do that made you so sure? So I tell him. About the garden, the sword, the healing. Tobias listens, his face unreadable. When I finish, he's quiet for a long moment. Then, I don't know if I believe that. I understand. I wouldn't have believed it either if it hadn't happened to me. But you're sure it wasn't, I don't know, not as bad as you thought? I smile, reach up and touch my ear. I'm sure. Tobias looks at me. Really looks, like he's seeing me for the first time. I've heard the stories, he says quietly. About the resurrection, about people seeing him, He stops. I've been wondering if maybe there's something to it. There is, I say, more than something, everything. He nods slowly. Where do they meet? The followers? I tell him. You should come, I say. Just listen, hear the stories, decide for yourself. Maybe I will. We part ways. I don't know if he'll come. Don't know if he's ready. But I planted a seed, the same way Peter planted one in me. The same way Jesus planted one in the garden, and seeds grow. Even when you can't see them, even when you think nothing's happening, they grow. Hannah is pregnant. We find out in the spring, a year after the resurrection. She tells me one evening, her face glowing, we're going to have a child. I pull her close, hold her, feel the joy and the fear and the hope all mixed together. A child, I whisper. Yes. I think about the world this child will grow up in, the tensions, the opposition, the cost of following Jesus. But I also think about the community, the love, the grace. What will we tell them, Hannah asks, when they're old enough to understand about what happened to you? The truth, I say. We'll tell them the truth, that their father was healed by the Messiah, that grace is real, that death has been defeated. They'll have questions. Let them question. Let them wrestle. That's how faith grows. She smiles, touches her belly. I hope they have your courage. I'm not courageous. Yes, you are. You faced the truth even when it cost you everything. You chose grace over safety. That's courage. Maybe she's right. Or maybe courage is just being willing to live with what you know, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's costly, even when no one else understands. Years pass, the movement grows, spreads beyond Jerusalem, beyond Judea, into Samaria, into the wider world. Peter and the others travel, preach, heal, build communities. I stay in Jerusalem, work, raise my family. Hannah and I have 2 children, a son and a daughter. I tell them the story when they're old enough, about the garden, the healing, the grace. They listen with wide eyes, touch my ear marveling. Does it ever hurt, my son asks. No, never. Not even a little? Not even a little. My daughter looks thoughtful. Did you thank him? I didn't get the chance. Not then, but I thank him every day now, every time I remember. How? She asks. By living like someone who was healed, by showing others the same grace I was shown. She nods, satisfied. I'm older now. My hair is grey, my hands are scarred from years of work, but my ear is still perfect, unchanged by time. People ask about it sometimes, how I still have both ears when so many men my age are marked by accidents, by war, by life. I tell them the truth when they ask. Some believe, some don't. But I tell it anyway. Because it's not just my story, it's the story of a God who heals his enemies, who loves without condition, who defeats death itself, and who changes everything he touches. One evening, late in life, I'm sitting outside my house, watching the sunset. Hannah is beside me, older too, beautiful still. Our children are grown, have families of their own. The community of believers is strong, established, growing still. And I'm at peace. Do you ever regret it? Hannah asks. Leaving the household, the security? Never. Not even once, not even once. She takes my hand, our fingers intertwine, familiar, comfortable. I'm glad, she says. We sit in silence, watching the light fade, and I think about that night in the garden, how afraid I was, how confused, how lost. I think about his hand on my head, the impossible healing. I think about all the years since, the struggles and the joys, the costs and the gifts, and I understand now what I couldn't understand then. He didn't just heal my ear that night. He healed my life. He gave me a story worth telling, a purpose worth pursuing, a grace worth sharing. He gave me belonging, not through what I did, but through what he did. And that changes everything. I reach up one more time, touch my ear, whole, healed. A reminder that will last the rest of my life. that I was seen, I was loved, I was restored by the one who conquered death, by Jesus. The Messiah, my Messiah, and nothing will ever be the same.